Okay, so let's have a quick recap what we have discussed in last session. In last session, we have discussed about how we can create our Azure account, where we can see all services. We have an option of marketplace, that's what we have seen it. And then we have discussed about subscription. So this is what we have discussed in the last session. And in today's session, we are going to learn about our first service that is called as virtual machine. Now, what is virtual machine? Virtual machine is like a computer we are going to create virtually on Azure platform. Like, let's take example, I want to create one server. Whenever if I want to create a physical server, I have to purchase a lot of things. I have to purchase CPU, motherboard, lot of things I have to purchase it. RAM, motherboard, CPUs, RAM, that lot of things, whichever we are need to for a computer, we need all those things. It is going to investment of more than 2 lakh rupees. I have to done it for creating a server. So what we can do is we can create a virtual server in Azure platform. Based on our requirement, we can select the operating system. And these are the operating system which Azure is supporting. The operating system we can create in our Azure platform. Based on this, we can create our computer in Azure platform. So we don't need to purchase anything. Based on our client requirement, how much RAM, how much CPU they require, how much hard disk they require. Based on their requirement, we can create a computer virtually in Azure cloud. So we don't need to invest anything to create a server here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to log into my Azure account. Here is my Azure account which we have. Now, what I'm going to do, I need to create a machine. Now, let's say I want to create one server. Whenever we are creating a server, we are always seeing 3 things into that. What 3 things we are seeing it? RAM, CPU, and hard disk. Whenever even we are purchasing a laptop for personal use also, we are always seeing these 3 things, how much they are providing us. So even to create a virtual machine, we always have to see these things also, how much RAM we have to allocate, how much CPU, and how much hard disk we have to allocate to our machine. So let's take example here. I'm giving with 1 GB of RAM and with 1 CPU I am giving it. This is my basic requirement I am giving it. This is just a new server we are creating. So for starting, we can create with low requirement. In future, if you want to increase, we can increase that also. We will learn in our upcoming session how we can increase CPU and RAM or hard disk in our upcoming sessions. So we have to create a virtual machine with very basic requirement. So to create a virtual machine, now I'm going to a service called virtual machine. You guys can search here. If it's not showing you, you guys can search VM. Here you are getting virtual machine. Now when I go for virtual machine, I am going to click on create Azure virtual machine. Now when I click on virtual machine, it is asking 2 options. What are 2 options? Subscription and resource group. So I already have my subscription. That particular subscription by default, Azure has taken the subscription which I have taken. Second thing is we have to create a resource group. I can click on create new. So I can create from here also if I want to do that. But in this particular case, if I'm creating from here, system is automatically going to take this particular region, whichever is selected here. System is going to take that particular region. So first you have to change this region and then you can create resource group from here. Or the other option is the one which we have learned in our previous session, how we can create a resource group. Now, what is resource group? We have already discussed in previous session. Resource group is like a folder, it's like a container. Under this container, we are going to put our all resources, whichever we want to put it. It can be your database, it can be your virtual machine, it can be your virtual networks, any service, whichever in our upcoming session we are going to create. There are two mandatory things are required. The one is subscription, other is called resource group. Without these two things, we are not able to create our resources. So these two are the mandatory thing for us. So now I'm going back again. I'm again in the home screen of my Azure login. I'm going to click on resource. Click on create. Subscription, by default it is taking. Give the name of my resource group. It can be any name, guys. The name can be any name, your name, my name, any name you can give it. I'm giving my batch details. Group 95, this is Azure batch 95. I'm giving that. And then we have to select a region. In which particular region I want to create this resource group. I am selecting that one. For you guys, I have already informed in previous session, because you are a free trial, so might be they are restricting you with some regions. So you guys can use which region? Japan East. In Japan East, there is no restriction for free trial users we have. But yes, I am not under a free trial. I am under a pay-as-you-go one, so I can select any region, whichever I want to do that. But yes, for a free trial, there is some restriction, because few months back they have put some restrictions. I'm not till now 100% sure they have removed that restrictions or not. If it's not get removed, use Japan. And then click on next tags. No need to do anything on tags. We'll discuss later. Click on next, review plus create. Here it is actually going to review the details, whichever I have given, it is correct or not. After validating it, here I am able to see validation pass. Till that time we are not getting the validation pass, I am not able to click on create button. This create button is disabled. Till that time we are not getting it validation pass. Not just for resource group, for every service we are getting it validation pass. Now click on create. That my resource group is ready. I'm able to see that. And even in Azure on right side here in the top, you will get a notification whichever you are doing it. For this, you will get a notification also. So we have created our resource. Now, what is the next thing we have to create our resource group? We have to create virtual machine. Now, some important point about resource group. Resources can only exist in our resource group. The resources mean the services which we have it, virtual machine, virtual network, IP addresses. These all things are called as resources. Even when I'm going to create a virtual machine, for single virtual machine, there are a lot of resources going to be created by this system. We'll see that also. Resource group cannot be renamed. Not possible to rename. Group can have resources of many different types, which I've already told you. It is under resource group, we can create multiple types of resources. Your database you can create IP addresses, you can create load balancers, you can create virtual machine, anything whichever you want to create, any type of resources we can do under our resource group. So every type of resources we are able to see under that. Now, important point and interview question also. Groups can have resources from many different regions. Now, what is the meaning of that? This is interview question also they can ask you. What they can ask you is it possible, can I create a resource group in another region and my resource in another region? Is it possible? The answer is yes, you can do that. This is the one. Now I'll explain you that also. While creating a resource group, I have selected which region here, which location, Central India. But when I'm trying to create a virtual machine, it is possible I can create a virtual machine in any US region also. It is also possible. In real time, we are not doing this thing. But yes, practically it is possible. Even it is not a good practice. I'm telling you guys, in real time, we are not doing this thing. Even it is not a good practice, but still it is possible. So just for checking your knowledge, a person can ask you this question. So this is one of the very basics, the first interview question which actually we are learning here. That it is possible, I can create a resources in another region and resource group in another region. Yes, it is possible. Practically also you want to try, when you start practicing it, you can try that also. But I'm telling you, it's not a good practice. Okay. Now we have created our resource group. Again, go to the home screen. Now I'm going to create a virtual machine. Click on virtual machine. Click on create Azure virtual machine. Subscription selected. I'm select. Now let me show you one more thing. By default, it is selecting which region? South India. Did I select resource group till now? No, I didn't select resource group. Now I'm going to select resource group. When I select resource group, see here. Now what is my region? By default, they are changing it to Central India as per my resource group. But if you want to change, like which I have told you here regarding this particular point, if I want to change, can I change it? You can see here, I can change. In whichever the region I want to select, I can select South India, any region, etc. But it is not a best practice. Whatever your resource group, create under that. So I'm selecting here Central India. Now we have to give our virtual machine. Let me give my virtual machine name as VM-95. Region selected. Don't worry about, there are a lot of things you are getting it while creating this virtual machines. Don't worry about those other things. Slowly in our upcoming sessions, we'll practically learn other things also. Right now, we are just focusing on only those things which are mandatory. And wherever you find the star button, the star option, those are mandatory. So right now, our focus is always on star things. Other things we'll learn slowly in upcoming sessions. Name given, region selected. Now we have to select an image. Here in Azure, they are using a word called image, but in our normal language, we are calling it operating system. So we have to select here operating system. In which operating system? By using which operating system I have to create this machine. And we are working on which operating system right now? We are working for Windows machine. So we have to select a Windows machine. You can see here. The list, the few lists I am getting it. If you want to see all lists, see all images. So make sure you are also going to learn these terminologies, guys. Whenever in our upcoming session, whenever I'm going to use a word called image, it means operating system. So here I'm getting that complete list. We can see that. See, when I click on image, actually I'm at where? I'm at marketplace, which I have already shown you in previous sessions. Or you can select from here also, whichever we are getting it. You can select from here. I'm just selecting it, Windows Server 2019 data set. Now I have selected. Guys, in Azure, it sometimes happen. You can see here, I have selected that particular operating system also. Again, I'm selecting, but this field is showing you blank. This happens sometimes in Azure. Don't worry, while your practice also, if it get happen, don't worry. It gets selected. You will see that in the end, when I'm going to validate the records, you will see system has already selected my image also. So don't worry if it's not showing to you also, like it is not showing to me. Next thing, we have to select the size. Whenever we are going to select a size, we are going to select these two components. Which two components? CPU and RAM. We are selecting it. And in first session, let me show you that again. Let me open that first slide. Here. We have discussed about this free tier. Scroll down. We are working on which service? Virtual machine. Here I'm virtual machine. We are creating Windows 1. It is free, 12 months free, 750 per month quota, 750 hours per month quota we are getting. And here I am getting the type. Which particular type of virtual machine is 750 hours free? The name is B1S. See here. The which type I have selected here by default? Standard B1S. Which is the one we are. Don't worry the charges, whichever we are getting, don't worry about that one. It is coming under free one for 12 months. Now, if you want to see more things, you can see here. But yes, if you select any other one, you will get a bill for it. You want to see all sizes, click on all sizes. I'm getting 1 CPU, 1 GB of RAM. And while using this, Azure is providing us 4 GB of temporary storage. 4 GB. For every different type, like if I go with B2S, in B2S, they are providing it 8 GB of temporary storage. So they have give their category wise. Don't worry about whatever we are getting the categories. This always providing by your client information. So whatever your client is informing which type of machine you have to select, we have to select the type here. Right now, go for B1S, where we are getting 1 CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and 4 GB additional hard disk. We are getting it. That is called temporary storage. We are getting it. This is temporary storage. This is not hard disk actual. The actual hard disk which we have to select. This is not the actual hard disk. This is the additional storage which we are getting it from Azure. So I'm selecting B1S. Done. Now scroll down. Now here we have to enter our username and password. So let's say I'm entering a username here as Azure user. It can be any username, you can enter it. The only thing is 1 to 20 characters you can enter, and you can't use any special characters, but only with some characters. Give the username. You can give your name also while practice. Now we have to give the password. Password needs to be 12 to 123 characters long. You have to do it. Let's check. I'm giving the password here as. This is the password. So we have given the password. We have selected B1S. We have given username and password. But yes, for rules and regulations for our password. The one we have discussed is 12 to 123 character long. But there are some other things also we have to follow. Out of the 4 things, we have to use 3 things. 1 lowercase, 1 uppercase, 1 number, 1 special character. Out of these 4 things, we have to follow minimum 3 things. It is mandatory. If you're not using it, system will give you the error message. Now, we are creating it which type of machine? We are creating a Windows machine. So if you want to connect any Windows machine, there are some mandatory things we have to follow. Which thing we have to follow? We have to enable some port numbers. Scroll down. Here inbound port. We are getting that particular option. It is mandatory. You can see a star. It is mandatory. If you want to connect any Windows machine, by default, Azure is giving us RDP. Azure is giving us RDP, and with RDP, they are giving it a number called 3389. It means if you want to connect any Windows machine, guys, you have to enable this port number. Without enabling of this port number, you are not able to connect to your Windows machine. It is mandatory, and Azure is so smart. By default, they are enabling that particular port. We have few more port numbers, SSH, HTTP, HTTPS. We'll discuss later more in our upcoming session when we'll work for Linux machine, when we'll work for web servers. That time we'll discuss about that particular port number. So by default, our RDP port is enabled. So we have done on the first option. Now click on next. Disk. By default, it is giving me that particular disk which I'm getting. We have multiple types of disk. We'll discuss later. So right now, I'm not going to work anything on this particular disk tab. We have an option. I can add additional tabs also. So regarding these things, we'll completely going to discuss later in our upcoming session. Right now, I'm not going to discuss about networking tab, no management tab, no advanced tab, no tags. Directly click on a tab called Review Plus Create. Yes, other option, whichever we have it, these are important. We'll discuss later. Right now, if I'm discussing everything, you guys get confused because this is the first thing we are start learning. So slowly, we are going to learn about other things also. Then you can see here, it is showing me validation passed. Now click on Create. I have clicked on create. Now system will create our virtual machine. So we have to wait here a few more minutes. You can see here deployment is in process. System is deploying few new things. Virtual network, public IP. This is actually in the third tab, the one which we have seen it, networking tab. Under that we are getting those options. NSG, network interface. So 5 things system has created. Now they are creating a virtual machine. So wait for a few more minutes, guys. Then we'll create our virtual machine will be ready. Done. Our virtual machine is ready. Click on go to resources. It is still in actually process because in backend something is going on still now. Not yet ready. Troubleshoot the issue. System is still verifying few more details. So I can do one thing. Just click on the home button. Click on virtual machine. And here also we can see our virtual machine. The name of my virtual machine, the subscription, the resource group, the location, what is its status running, which operating system I'm using, Windows, the size, B1S, and here I'm getting the public IP of my machine. Now I'm going to click on my machine. Here I am. Now I need to connect to this machine. I need to connect to this machine. How can I connect to this machine? In your Windows machine, guys, we have one tool. In your Windows machine, we have one tool. The name of the tool is called Remote Desktop Connection. That is a pre-installed tool in your Windows machine. You have it. So if you just go to search bar and just search RE, you will get here Remote Desktop Connection. By using this tool, we can connect our Windows machine. See, here we have done it. For Windows instance, RDP port needs to be open, and for Linux one, SSH port needs to be open. We will see in our upcoming session when we are trying to create Linux machine. So in these tabs, I didn't do anything, so that is why it is mentioned. Just click on next. And we have done at the end, we have clicked on. Now click on the name of the virtual machine, copy the public IP. Here is the public IP. Now what is this public IP? This is IP address is automatically assigned by the Azure to this virtual machine. And by using this virtual machine, we can connect to our machine. So I'm getting the public IP. I'm noting down in my notepad file. Now open remote desktop connection. Now in this remote desktop connection, after opening it, we have to, in the computer one, we have to give our IP address. IP address, whichever is given it from Azure, we have to give our IP address. Click on show options. Username, my username, the username which I have given it. Click on connect. Again, click on connect. Now it is asking for pass. This is my pass. Okay. Yes. Done. I'm able to connect to my Windows virtual machine. Just wait for a few minutes. System is loading the details and then we'll see more details. Still in process. Still loading it. Windows machine takes some time. Don't worry about it. Always take time. It has been loaded. Now what I can see that, let me just click on like yes. Okay. Now I'm going to this folder button, folder option. Let me go to this PC. Now when I go to this PC, you can see here, I'm getting C drive. C drive I'm getting it. How much I'm getting it? 126 GB. I'm getting it. This is by default whenever we are creating a Windows machine. By default for our C drive, Azure is giving that much of space. Actually a 127 GB. Here it is showing 126. It is actually 127 GB. And this is 4 GB, which I am getting, which I have shown you the temporary storage which Azure is giving to us. Now I'll tell you one important point. This is temporary storage. In this temporary storage, we are not saving our data. We are not saving it. If you want to store your data, we can store in C drive. Or we can add more additional drives also. In our upcoming sessions, we learn about an option called data disk. At that time, we can attach more disks to our machine. In that one, we can store our data. In this temporary storage, we are not storing any data. This is just for temporary purposes, like just for caches and other things we can do. Even you can see when I open this one, in that one, they have given a notepad file also. If I open that notepad file, see, they have given us a warning also. This is temporary disk. Any data stored in this drive is subject to lose. There is no way to recover it. So that is why this is just a temporary storage. In this one, we are not storing our data. It's just for, like in our machines, we are having some caches, we are getting some temporary files, this system is generating. It is only used for that purpose. There is no other use for this temporary storage. We are getting it. Now let me go to this PC, right click, properties. See, 1 GB of RAM. The one which we have attached here. Here I'm getting it. Which one we have used? Windows Server 2009. Now, how actually I can see in the console how much disk is attached? Here we have option of disk on the left side. This is which I'm getting. This actually I have told you 127 GB there. It is showing 126 GB. 1 GB is always showing less into that. And even the 4 GB one is also showing 3.99 GB. That is what we are getting. This is OS disk which we are getting. Here we have option of data disk. We'll learn later in our upcoming session. Then we'll reach to that topic. So this is a 127 GB storage we are able to see. So this is how we can create our virtual machine, Windows virtual machine. Now the next we have to create Linux one. The process is same, but yes, little bit different also we have it. We'll discuss that. But before it, anyone have any question about the creation. Anyone want to ask anything regarding this? Please raise your hand. Yes, Vipul, you can.
Yeah, Ankit. Good evening.
Good evening.
Ankit, likewise, we connected this Windows machine through RDP, right? By putting the public IP and the user ID and the password that we gave at the time of creation, right? So,
Right.
so can we connect this Windows Server machine through PuTTY also?
Windows machine we can't connect by using PuTTY. For to connect by using PuTTY, SSH port needs to be enabled, and for Windows 1, SSH port is not enabled.
Okay.
Okay. With PuTTY, we can connect Linux machine. That is the next thing which I will be to show.
Okay, Windows machine we cannot connect.
No, it is not possible.
Or through Git Bash also, right?
No, that is actually same terminal. Na? Those are
terminal,
Linux
correct.
terminals. With
Correct.
terminals, we can't connect. So for Windows 1, we have only one option, that is remote desktop connection.
Okay.
A Linux machine you can connect with any terminal. We have hundreds of terminals in market. The topmost is PuTTY and Git Bash. Other than that, also we have a lot of you can connect with any.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes, Norbert, you can unmute.
Yeah, good day. So I just have a small question. When you're creating the Windows virtual machine, you choose Windows Server 95. Is that the one you advise people to use?
Sorry, can you repeat your question again?
So when you're creating the Windows virtual machine, you choose Windows Server 95.
Windows Server 2019.
No, 95.
The name I have given it, VM-95. This is name. It can be any name. It can be even your name also.
Okay.
This is name of my virtual machine I have given. It can be any name. While creating a virtual machine, let me show you that also. Okay? Where I have given the name. Here, virtual machine name. That is actually a VM-95. Okay. The image option which we are able to see, that is operating system.
Yes, the operating system, when you choose Windows
Server 2019 I have selected. Here I have the list. This is just
so my question was based on that.
Here is the one.
Can be using?
Windows Server 2019 Data Center Generation 2. This is the one I have.
So is that the advisable one that we have to use, or I don't know? Can we use the other ones?
You can use 2022 also. You can do that. It doesn't make any difference because this thing is not chargeable actually. The image is not chargeable. The chargeable thing is size. Okay. The size is chargeable thing. That is important thing. You have to select B1S. Okay. Azure is not going to charge you based on the image. They are going to charge you based on the size. Okay. And as for free quota, B1S is coming under free quota. So make sure you are also selecting that particular free quota. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Yes, Sudarshan, you can.
Yeah, hi Ankit. You have mentioned that in the temporary storage means actually it is for we can't save any data for that.
Yeah, like earlier I've shown that even Azure is giving us a warning in that notepad file, don't store your data anything.
I think after whenever we stop the server, then only we will have that data loss. If the VM is in continuous running, then the data won't be lost, I hope.
Yes, if you restart your machine, the data will be lost. Yes, yeah, you are correct. But that is why they are giving it, don't store your data.
Fine. Thank you.
But if you lost your data, no one is responsible. Azure is not responsible because they have given us a warning by using that notepad file.
Okay. Just for temporary purpose or timing testing purpose only, we can able to use that.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Monica. Barrapulla, you can unmute. Monica, you can unmute yourself. Monica, you have already unmuted, but still I'm not able to hear you. Monica, are you there? Monica, please check your mic, then again raise your hand. Yes, Jyoti, you can unmute.
Hi, Ankit. you have provided the username and the password while creating this virtual machine, right?
Yes.
For password, you have said that there are some certain rules, like
Two rules we have it only.
Yeah.
These are the
Do
two rules we have.
Yeah, do we have the same rules for username as well? Like, can
No.
you?
No, there is only the one for username we have it. That some characters one we have it. Let me just a minute check, show you that also. That is the one which we have it 1 to 20 characters long. You can't use special characters. Username must not include reserved words. In Azure, we have some reserved words. We have it. That particular words we can't use it. That is the restriction we have it. 3.
Okay, but we can
Now
use
tell you one
buffer.
thing. Which word
Yeah.
actually? Admin
Mhm.
is a reserved word. We can't use it. So there are the lists is given it from Azure. You can just search on Google, or let me search for you guys also. There is a list given it. Here is that complete list. Reserved word. These usernames we can't use it. Are reserved. Here are the list. Even Microsoft and Windows also we can't use it. So
But
this is
it's
the
not case sensitive, right?
No. It can be in capital or in small, but these words are reserved. Even in this is actually not an updated list from Azure. There is a user that name is called admin also. Even admin is also not possible, but this still it is not updated from Azure. Even we can't use admin also. Admin is actually a very common username. We are using it. Even we can't use that also. But still it is not updated. I'm sharing this link in the chat box. You guys can check that.
Thank you, Ankit.
Yes, you can.
Hey Ankit, thank you for the opportunity. So Ankit, when we created, we automatically create the public IP, right? So
Yes,
once
that is automatically taken care by the Azure, and it's actually not automatically creating it. The third tab actually, which we have it, a networking tab. Because of this one, it is creating it because we didn't do anything right now. Here, system is giving the name to my public. If I select none, system will not create public.
Okay, so
Regarding that's why I told you, Shashi, regarding these things, we'll discuss slowly when we come to those topics.
Sure. So basically, once we have the networking, we can have the private IP address.
We'll come to a service called virtual network.
Okay.
And VPC. That time we'll actually discuss about the options which we are getting under networking tab.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes, Amit Sinha, you can.
Yeah, hi, Ankit. Actually, I want to understand again reason and resource group and how they are connected to each other.
Which things you want to understand?
Resource and group, and how they are interconnected. And
resource and resource group. I'm correct, Amit?
Yes, resource.
Resource group is just like a folder. You can see when I come to resource group, did we create 6 resources? We have created a virtual machine. I have told you that I am going to create only virtual machine. But if you see here, there are actually total 6 resources with virtual machine. Total 6 resources has been created. One is virtual machine. One is virtual network. Other is public IP, NSG, network interface, and the disk option which you are putting. So resource group is just like a folder. Under that particular folder, we are putting our resources. So whatever the resources I'm going to create, it is creating under that particular folder. Let's take example, in my one project, we have a testing team, we have a production team, we have a development team. For testing team, we are creating a different resource group and their resources we are creating. For production team, we are creating their resources. For testing team, we are creating their resources. So there will be no confusion for us whenever we are creating their resources on that.
And region can be same for all the resources.
Yes, it can be same. It can be same or it can be different also. Depend on client to client requirement. Majorly, which I've already told, we are doing same, but still I'm not sure that what the client is thinking it is possible it can different also.
Okay. Oh, got it.
Okay. Like earlier I have told you that when I'm creating a resource group I'm creating in central India, but it is possible I can create virtual machine in different location also. It is possible.
And it work in the same way.
It will work. Yes, there will be no problem. There will be no lacking. There will be no speed issues, nothing else. We are going to face it. As it is same, I'm going to create in same region. Okay,
Yeah,
but it's not a good practice.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, Mohammed Imran.
Hi, Ankit.
Yes, Mohammed.
Yeah, I just wanted to know while creating the VM, if we enable the SSH port, and can we able to connect with the
No,
putty application?
no. I
No.
tried. You are getting errors. I have tried.
What about with the Windows CMD?
Command prompt.
Yes, command prompt.
You have to use RDP.
Only RDP it will work.
Only RDP you have to use it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Ankit.
Okay, now what I'm going to show here is after creation of our virtual machine, I don't want to use this virtual machine anymore. And if you see here with virtual machine, there are some other resources also system is creating it. I don't want to use any of the resource. So what I have to do is I have to delete all the resources. So what I can do is there are actually two options we can do after our practice, that particular thing. I can delete a virtual machine or other resources, whichever is creating by the system. We can go to that particular resource, then we can delete one by one. This is one thing. But because there are system total 6 resources, which system is creating it. System is created total 6. You can go to the single resource and delete that one. It is not possible, guys, after our practice, to go to single resource and delete that one. So what you can do after your practice? Delete this resource group. So if you delete this resource group and under your resource group, whatever the resources you have it, all will delete at once. So just copy your resource group name, delete resource group, give the name of your resource group. System is showing all 6 resources will be deleted. So system will delete your resource group, and under that, whatever the resources we have it will delete all those. Yes, but it will take some time. About this, it will do. Now, again, I'm going to resource group. You can see here, there is one more resource group we are getting it. Network Watcher RG, Network Watcher resource group. Did we create this resource group? No. Automatically, system is creating this resource group. Whenever we are creating a virtual machine, system will automatically create one resource group. Why we are creating this? They are creating resource group to monitor our virtual machines. So we have one service called Network Watcher in Azure. By using it, it is monitoring our virtual machines. So regarding this particular service, we'll learn later in our upcoming session. So this is how we can create our virtual machines and we can connect to our virtual machine with Windows. Now, let me move to our other topic, and again, then I'll come to you for your questions. I know that few people have still raised their hands. I just wait for a few more minutes. I'll come to you again. Okay. Now we are going to learn about Linux machines. In Linux machine, like when I'm creating a Windows machine, we have given username and password. This is how we can connect to our machine. But in Linux one, we have two types of options we are getting, the password options we are getting. One is SSH key, other one is called password option. Password option, the one which I've shown you for Windows one, same like we have it for Linux one also. We'll learn that also. But before this, I'm going to show you about SSH key. This is very important thing because majorly in real time for our Linux machine, we are using this SSH key option. So this is what I'm going to show you. Process is same, other process is same. But first I need a resource group, because the resource group which I have created, I have sent a deletion request for that. So let me first create a resource group. I'm giving this region, changing it to Central India. Review plus create, validation pass. Yeah. My other resource group is ready. Go to virtual machine, create. It's still not deleted. Don't worry about that. System will delete that. It will take some time. And till that time it is not get deleted, don't close your browsers, guys. Make sure after practice, whatever we are creating, you are deleting it, those also. And till that time it is not get deleted, don't close your browsers. Your browser needs to be open. Till that time it is not get deleted. Click on create. Subscription, resource group, Azure, so group 95-1. Give the name of my virtual machine. Can be any name, whatever the name you want to give. I am giving VM Linux-95. Even I can give my name also, your name also. You can give. Now by default, Azure is selecting it which operating system? Ubuntu, with a version called 20.04. 04, we are able to see this version. Right now, even in the market for Ubuntu, we are getting 22 version also we are getting, but that one still we don't have it in Azure. The latest version we have it is 20. So, or we have Red Hat also we have it. We have Oracle Linux also. Whichever you want to select, you can select that operating system. I am going for the same Ubuntu one. Which one we have to select? B1S type. By default, it is selecting B1S. Now here I am getting the authentication type. The two options which we have discussed, SSH key, password. So if I select SSH key, here system is generating a key. If I select password, we can give username and password, like which I've given for our Windows machine. But right now we are learning about SSH key option. So here by default, they are giving the username. If you want to give the same username, you can give, or you want to change, you can change that. I'm using the same user. Generating new key pair, or if we have any existing key, we can select that. We don't have any existing key. Create a new key pair. And now give the name of your key. So let me give Azure key 95. This is the name. Here we have Ubuntu B1S, SSH key, username, enter key name. And now what we have to done, we have to enable SSH port. Like in previous example, we have discussed it for Windows 1. Which port needs to be enabled? RDP port. Like the same way for Linux machine, we need a port called SSH port. And anyone can tell me in the chat box, if anyone know, don't worry, those people don't know, don't worry about that. What is the port number for SSH? Send me in the chat box. The port number is 22. Like for Windows, the port number is 3389. Same way for SSH, the port number is 22. See here. SSH in the bracket they have mentioned as 22. Those people have sent me 23, 24. Guys, you are incorrect. Make sure you remember this particular thing now. The port number is 22. Now, other than that, I don't need to work on any of the tab. We'll learn later. So I'm just directly click on a tab called Review Plus. I'm getting it validation class. Now click on create. Now when I click on create, we'll get one pop-up here. What does that pop-up? Generate new key, because we have created a key. Did we download that key? No. Now here system is giving us an option to download private key and create resource. Click on that. File get downloaded. Here is the file get downloaded. Let me get this file in my batch 95. Here. Azure key 95 dot. So the key, whichever we are generating it, it is generating with extension dot. So let's just wait here. So till the time our virtual machine get ready. This is what we have done. Till here we have created. We have downloaded private key and then we have clicked on create resources. System is going to create our resource. Now our virtual machine is ready. But I have to done here also. I have to note down the public IP. The public IP, like earlier I have noted down for Windows machine, same way I am noting down for my Linux machine. Now, for Windows machine, we are using which tool? Remote desktop connection. For Linux machine, also we need some tools. That actually tools are called as terminal tools. For if you want to connect your Linux machine, we need to download some tool. And which tool we are going to use, guys? In market, if I'm talking about on internet, we have a lot of tools, we have it. But I'm going to use the tool which is very commonly used in market. The name of the tool is called Putty. To connect to our tool, I'm going to download actually two tools here. One is called Putty, other is called PuttyGen. What is the use of these both the tools? We'll learn later also. So here I have given the website. From there we can download. Or you can search on Google. From there also you'll get this particular website. Scroll down. When I scroll down, here I'm getting putty.exe. We have to download. As per your system requirement, just click on that particular link. System will download the exe file. So we have downloaded Putty, but we have to download PuttyGen also. So scroll down in the same tool, same link. Here I'm getting PuttyGen. So as per your requirement, just click on that. Both the tools get downloaded. Now, in Windows machine, whenever we are downloading any tool, after that, what we have to done, we have to install. Like I'm using a Chrome. When I had first time downloaded a Chrome, I have downloaded Chrome exe file. Then after that, I have installed that exe file in my Windows machine. So do I have to install both these tools? The one which we have downloaded now? No. These two tools we don't need to install in our system. Without installation, we can use both the tools. How we can use it, both the tools. Which tool we have to use first? First, we have to use a tool called Putty. Here we have downloaded two tools, Putty and PuttyGen. So first we have to use PuttyGen. Why we have to use PuttyGen? To generate PPK file. We have downloaded which file? PEM file. By using this PEM file, we have to generate PPK file with the help of PuttyGen. As I'm going to do this process, please see very carefully, because those people are new, they are doing a very mistake in it. If you are doing a mistake, you are not able to connect to your machine. So make sure, please see very carefully whatever I'm going to do now. So open PuttyGen, double click here, PuttyGen open. Now click on load. So I'm just going to click on load. After clicking on load, you have to select your PEM file. So this is batch 93. I need to go to batch 95. It is not showing anything. Why? Because here it is checking extension is .ppk. We have to change this extension to all files. Now it is showing my PEM file. Select your PEM file. Done. So first what we have done, we have clicked on load, then we have select our PEM file. After that, click on save private key. Don't click on generate. don't click. This is a mistake. A lot of people are doing it, but they are doing it. They are clicking on generate. Don't do that. So you have to click only in these two buttons. First click on load, then click on save private. So I'm click on save private. Yes. Give the name of your file, whatever the name you want to give. I'm giving the same name, Azure Key 95 with extension .pp. Save. This is how we can generate PPK. Make sure when you practice it, you are not doing any mistake. If you done any mistake, you are not able to connect to your Linux machine. We have generated PPK. We have to note down public IP. This is also we have already done it. Now open. Now in the putty, what they are asking to enter host name or IP address. So I'm entering the IP address. This is an IP address which I have noted down. Now, next what we have to do, we have to link this PPK file. With this putty, we have to link this PPK file. So how we have to link? Click on SSH, this plus button. You have to click on this plus button which we are getting for SSH. Then you have to click on auth. Auth means authentication. And then we are getting the option of private. So here we have to select our private. That's 95. This is my PPK. Open. Open. Accept. What is my username? Azure user. Enter. See here, I am able to connect to my machine. This is the name I have given it. VM-95. Sorry, VM-Linux-95. So I'm able to connect to my machine. I'm going to use one command called df -net. I'm going to use a command called df -net. By using this, we can see all the disks are attached to my machine. You can see here the 3.9, the 4 GB one, and the 29 GB which Azure is providing us. It means 39 GB they are providing us whenever we are creating our machine for C drive. For Windows 1, we are getting it by default 127 GB. For Linux 1, they are providing by default as 29. And other than that, whichever you are able to see here, these are the one. And the last one, these are temporary storage. Don't worry about this. Major are these two, 3.9 and the 29. And where we can see that, we can go to disk. Yeah, it's actually 30 GB, not 29. So it means for Windows 1, they are providing 127 GB. For Linux 1, they are providing us 30 GB of the storage they are providing to create our virtual machine. That is default storage. If you want to increase, we can increase that particular thing will later in our session. So this is how we can create our Linux machine and we can connect to our machine. But here we have discussed only about the option called SSH. We have one more option, the password option. That particular option we'll discuss later in our upcoming session, in the tomorrow's session. So in tomorrow's session, what we are going to learn about here is, we are going to learn about how we can create a Linux machine with password option, transfer local files. Then we are going to discuss about web servers. So these are the things we are going to discuss in our tomorrow session. So if anyone have any question, please raise your hand. Yes, Victor, you can unmute.
Wow, I never knew. I'm still having issues with the WhatsApp. I don't know whether you can connect
Regarding
me
which issue
directly.
you have it?
WhatsApp, the WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp, you can do one thing. Victor, you can contact to Pawan.
Okay.
Just contact him and tell him that please add me in the Azure batch 95.
Okay,
Just
I'll
drop
do
him a
that.
WhatsApp message.
I'll
Okay.
do that. I'll do that.
Just drop a WhatsApp message and inform him, please add me in the WhatsApp group batch 95. He's going to
I'll
share
do
the
that.
link and he'll add.
I'll
Inform
do
him
that.
that you are a Victor. So he's going to inform me because I'm going to inform him. After session, you get a message from Victor. Inform him that you are a Victor. Okay.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Or if still you're not able to add, drop me an email. You have my
Okay,
email ID, drop me an email.
Yes,
If
I
still
am.
you're not able to add.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Dilip Babu, you can unmute.
Yeah, actually, see,
Did we
whatever.
talk later also earlier? Dilip Babu, are you able to hear me? Did we talk later earlier also? Because I remember your name, Mike.
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I am able to hear you.
I'm asking,
Like,
did we talk later earlier also? Because I recognize your name.
yeah, actually, last time I joined, but I was not able to continue it for a couple of classes. I was there in.
That's why I told you, might be remember your.
Yeah, because that 4 to 5, I was not able to spend the time. So this time is very good for me. So I joined.
Okay,
again.
so you can join. Yes, Dilip Babu, you can continue.
See, actually, like whatever logs we are creating, so in Azure, whatever we do, will the logs be created on, if it is created, where it is stored in Azure actually?
In virtual VPC service. We'll learn that in our upcoming sessions when we'll come to service called VPC.
Okay.
It's actually not VPC, it's virtual network, sorry. So when we'll come to that service, there we will learn.
Okay, yeah. Thank
Here
you.
we have option called NSG flow logs. This is the one actually we learn.
Okay.
Here it is.
Okay.
Yes, Jyoti, you can unmute.
Ankit, while you were passing the keys, right? Like you have saved the private key, right? Using puttigen. Why didn't you save the public key? Is it because we have already?
M is actually a public key.
Sorry.
M is actually called as public key.
Okay, which one we have that PEM one?
Correct. And we need to generate private key because that is actually a secure way. And let me, if I show you the private key code, if I open this in the notepad file, tell me, is it possible to hack a password?
No. This I got it. What I'm asking is, what I'm asking is, we have saved the private key, right? Like that. Why didn't we save the public key in the using the puttigen? That is my question.
So that's why I told earlier that PEM is actually a public key.
Okay.
PEM is actually called as public key.
Usually what happens when we are also using the putty and puttigen for the key generation. So we are saving both public and private key, but while logging in, we'll be passing only private key. That's why I'm asked, like, why didn't you save the public key?
Okay. Anything else, Jyoti?
Nothing. Thank you.
Yes, Lava Kumar Reddy, we can do that.
Hi, thank you. For example, in a Windows VM, do we have option to deploy multiple VMs at a time?
You want to create multiple virtual machines?
Yes.
Yes, you can create n number of virtual machines. There is no limitations we have it.
No,
yes,
instead of one by one, not in a single deployment or something.
No, in virtual machine we don't have that option in Azure. We don't have it. If you want to go, you can go by using ARM templates, but in ARM templates you have to write your own JSON code. That time it is possible. By default, it is not possible.
Okay, you mean to say the graphical mode, we don't have option for multiple VMs at a time?
No.
Okay, that ARM template, you will be teaching on this?
We'll learn it in our upcoming sessions. But yes, for this one, you have to write your own JSON code. There is no default JSON code, even whatever default JSON code we are getting it from Azure. By using this, we can't create multiple virtual machines. That is a custom JSON code we have to create.
Okay.
And that only those people can write, those people know Java.
Okay, okay.
Majorly it's written in real time. If you require it written by your developer team.
Okay, okay. But it's possible.
Yeah, it is possible only by using your app template. That time it is possible.
Okay, thank you.
Or the other
Yeah.
option we have it is auto scaling. In that, with auto scaling, system will automatically create your machines, whatever we are giving the limitations into that. And even system will create our machines automatically also in this case. So this topic you will understand when we'll come to that particular.
Okay. Thank
Here
you.
we have VM scale set or auto scaling. You can call it. Number 6 you are.
But auto scale is different purpose, right? I guess.
By using a system will automatically create your machines, and under that you can set that you, right now you need 10 machines. System will, in your auto scaling system, will create on the spot create 10 machines also. There is option we have it in auto scaling.
Okay.
They actually call it desired capacity. That actual word they are using. In Azure they are using some other word, but actually normally we are calling it desired capacity, but in here it is calling it initial instance count. So by using, if you're mentioning as 10, system will on the spot create your 10 machines also. Okay.
Thank you.
How about that? Yes, Richard, you can.
Hi.
Hi, Richard.
Yes, my question is about the Azure terminal because I use AWS terminal. I just want to know if you don't have another way to only use PuTTY because on AWS
You
console.
can use Git Bash also if you want to use.
Okay, I got you.
It's not mandatory to use PuTTY. You can use Git Bash if you want to use it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, this is my question.
Thank you. Yes, Shashi, you can unmute.
Hey, Ankit. Ankit, I was trying to buy the course, trying to buy the course on the app or the website, but it's not letting me. So is there any other way that I can do?
You can contact Harini. If you're facing any payment regarding problems, please contact Harini, guys.
Oh, okay, just let me note down the number.
Just drop a WhatsApp message. Might be, I'm not sure right now she is going to reply, but tomorrow might be she'll reply.
Okay, let me.
It's already 9 p.m. So might be, I'm not sure today she'll reply, but if it's not, then tomorrow she'll reply.
Okay.
Okay, drop a WhatsApp message to her. So if guys, anyone is facing any problem regarding the payment, please contact Harini on the WhatsApp message.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks, Ankit.
Yes, Karandeep Joshi.
Hi Ankit, thanks for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
Ankit, my question is regarding the resource group, so which is a entity. So my question is like in that container, can we have a multiple set of VMs as well as databases,
Yes.
other entities?
Yeah. N number of resources we can create. We can create any type of resources, whichever you want to do. It can be multiple, it can be single, you can do.
Okay,
there is no limitations.
Okay, and that resource will be can be in multiple resource groups.
Yes.
For example, VM1 can be there in RG1 and RG2.
No, a single resource is always in a single resource group.
Okay.
A single resource cannot be in a multiple resource group. That is not possible.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, Ranjit, you can. Ranjit Kumar, you can unmute. So guys, what I'm going to do, I'm also going to delete all the resources whichever we have created. Ranjit, you can ask your question.
Yeah, I have the doubt with Windows VM. If we need to real time, we need to save any data, means if there any possible in D drive.
D drive is temporary one, which I've already told you. If you want to add additional drives, that we'll learn later in our upcoming session. That is actually called as data disk. Like let's example, in my system, if you see here, I have a C drive, I have a D drive. But let's say D drive is just a temporary one. So I want to add E drive also. So the E drive, if you want to add, we have to wait a service called data disk.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay, here we are going to learn when we'll reach to a PPT number 15. We'll learn for Linux one also, we'll learn for Windows one also, because just creating a data disk doesn't mean that our task is completed. What we have to done is we have to mount also. And that is very important thing. A lot of people don't know how to mount the volumes in cloud platforms. So we'll learn that also.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yes, Tirupati, you can unmute.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Tirupati.
Yeah, if we lost the PEM file, then how will we connect?
We'll learn later in our upcoming session.
Is there any recovery mechanism for that?
Yes, it is possible. We'll learn later. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'm going to teach you when we are coming to a topic called image. Where is that topic? Just a minute. We have a topic. I don't remember. Where is that? Here is it. Yes. PPT number 2021. That time we'll discuss. Okay. Right. Yes, Rafi, you can unmute.
Hi, Ankit.
Hi, Rafi.
Yeah. So in Oracle, we have concept of RAC, Real Application Cluster, right? So likewise in Azure, you have VM, single node. So do you have same concept like rack in VM?
No. Here we don't have that options which we have it. Just in a node, not in just Azure, in any node we don't have that option. Okay, because here we can't use those things. We can only access by using this console or by using CLI. We can access our machines.
Okay. So,
that
how
particular
Azure is
option we don't have.
Okay. How is Azure is going to overcome from this? Because in Oracle we have the cluster, right? So that is scalability is there, availability also is there. So, but in Azure, do you have same concept?
No, we don't have that particular concept in cloud platforms.
Okay.
The one which you're active, not just in Azure. I'm telling you, in every cloud we don't have it. Even in AWS, I'm working in both the clouds. I'm working in AWS also. I'm working in Azure also. In both the clouds, we don't have that concept.
Yeah, that concept is not there, but similar to that.
No idea about that particular thing. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, that's what my question. Thank you.
Yes, Sudarshan, you can unmute.
Yeah. Hi, thank you for giving the opportunity.
Sorry?
Ankit, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Thank you so much. Yes, Sudarshan.
Actually, in that earlier, we have 3 hours of 750 hours per month, right?
I'm not able to hear you. Can you please repeat, Sudarshan?
We have, we can use the VM for 750 hours per month, right? For
we can use virtual machine for
750 hours per month.
750 hours per month, yes. Not a single machine. It's not for a single machine. It is virtual machine for Windows virtual machine for 750 hours. It means if you have 2 machines, the 750 is divided into 2 parts.
Okay, that's what. And one more thing.
So 750 hours is per month. That's Windows for Windows.
If we stop that VM, instead of deleting that, it would be the time will be running, or it should be time will.
No, this thing will not increase, but still they can charge you for because of the disk, because you are using hard disk. Because whenever we are creating a machine, a C drive get created by the system.
Okay.
That C drive is still there in Azure platform. So for those things they can charge you. So best practice it. If it's not required, delete your machines. That's why I told you to delete those machines after a practice.
Thank you. And one more thing, I have one more query.
Yes.
While you are connecting with RDP, you haven't mentioned any port for that. Directly without log in with the public IP itself.
Yeah, because port number is enabled by the Azure by default 3389.
Okay. When we are taking the remote session from other location, right? So
yes, because I have given public access right now to my machine.
Yeah, we have given the public IP to access that, but we need to mention the specific port for that public IP, right?
We
Is
don't
that the
need to
reason?
do, no, we don't need to do anything into that. We have to just enable a port number, that is sufficient. And while creating it in the networking tab, we are giving the public IP, that is sufficient. Other things we don't need to do. Which thing actually you're talking, that is the on-premises things. In cloud, we don't need to do any other things.
Okay, we are in the on-premises. That's why we are not giving the RDP port.
Here we don't need to do anything in cloud platform. Just we have to enable a port number.
Okay.
Okay. You practice it, start practicing it, then your doubt will be clear, which actually you're asking.
No, actually, in our cloud, our team is trying to connect whenever they are trying to connect with RDP. So they will give the customized whatever with the hardware. They will give the port.
If you want to enable additional port, you can do that. It is possible under an option called NSG. If you want to do it, is possible. So it means what they have done it, they have disabled the port number 3389 and they have enabled a customized port for that.
Yeah, they have given the customized
it is
port.
possible. If they want to do it, is possible. But I'm talking about the default details which we are getting it right.
Okay, by default port, we cannot give the, we are not supposed to give the.
We don't need to do that, yes. But if still your client requirement, it is possible. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Narendra Reddy, you can.
Hi, Ankit. So actually today I have learned new thing like putty. So in this Azure administrator, are there any other tools like a putty, like a
in market we have a tool called Git Bash. We have a Git Bash. So number one, we have two tools which are very frequently used in market. Narendra is putty. Another is called Git Bash.
Okay.
So always in our trainings we are using these two because with these you are familiar. Because in real time we are using these tools, so it will be easy for you to familiar with these tools. Okay.
Okay.
That's why I'm using putty because putty is number one always. Git Bash is number two.
So both will play same role or else both
the same.
are different?
No, same thing. Whatever I can do by using putty, I can do by using Git Bash also. Whatever I can do by using Git Bash, I can do by using putty also.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that there are some different things also we have it in putty or Git Bash. No, it is same.
Okay, like installing any other softwares? Or
Yes. Commands, even commands are also same. Everything is same. Yes.
Okay.
Because the commands are depend on your operating system which you are using. Because if you're using Ubuntu or if you're using Red Hat, the commands are a little bit different as per the operating system whichever you are using. But yes, if you're using putty or Git Bash, the commands are same for that particular operating system.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so with this, I'm ending this session. In tomorrow's session, what we are going to learn is we are going to learn about Linux machine password, transferring local files, web servers, and then if we have time, we'll go for our other things also in the tomorrow session. So join the tomorrow session by using the same link. If you have any question, guys, while practicing, you can drop me an email to my email with proper details and with screenshot or other details, whichever you want me to provide that. And whenever I get a time, I'll definitely going to be. Okay, guys, thank you so much for the today's session. See you tomorrow. Thank you.